Thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the City of Los Angeles Board of Public Works, Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021 meeting. I'd like to begin our meeting with the acceptance of the minutes from Friday, June 4th.
Mr. Chair, I can go ahead and just establish quorum and roll call for the day.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
And as soon as we're done with that, then you can go ahead and go into the first order of business, Mr. Chair. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, establishing quorum and roll call. We have President Pro Tem Davis and Commissioner Caloza and Villegas. President Pro Tem Davis, you do have quorum at this time. Currently, we do not have any callers or any public comments under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We do have 3 callers on the line for item number 5 for today's regular agenda. And in addition to that, we did receive 2 comments through our Google comment form that's posted on our website for item number 5 and 9 that will be distributed to all commissioners. Again, that's items 5 and 9. Mr. Chair, also, there's been a request to withdraw item number 10 and also item number 11, in as much as 10 is no longer required and 11 has been taken, action has already been taken by your board on June 18th. So therefore, we are requesting to withdraw 10 and 11 with your board's permission.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Campos. Can I receive a second to my motion to receive the approval of the minutes from Friday, June 4th, 2021?
So moved.
Okay, that motion has been moved. Any opposition or any feedback on that motion, Commissioner Caloza? Hearing none, we accept those minutes. Next, we have bids. This is bids that will be received for the following public works projects. That's item number 1, and that is Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant, ferric chloride facility replacement, SIP 2460, a rebid, WOSZH 11854, estimate $2,090,000 in CD 11. Dr. Fernando Campos.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Mr. Chair, if I can ask to continue or to put this item back on the table until President Good has arrived around 10:30, maybe 10:40, and at that time we can go ahead and open up the bids. The reason the request is being made is because I do need one commissioner to be present here at City Hall. I am calling in remotely from my City Hall office, and President Good will be here around 10:30. So as soon as he joins the meeting, I will be more than happy to open up those bids and have your board open, declare, and receive those bids. Again, if we can just continue, if we can just wait for another 30 minutes and then come back to this item.
Sure, not a problem.
Mr. Chair, if there's no objections from your board to continue or to withdraw item number 10 and 11, can I go ahead and make that for the record? No objections?
Sure. The items 10 and 11 have been proposed as withdrawn. Can we have a second to the motion to withdraw items 10 and 11?
Second.
Okay, second by Commissioner Caloza. Any feedback or unreadiness, Commissioner Villegas? Okay, hearing and seeing none, so ordered that those items 10 and 11 will be withdrawn. What I'd like to do is, in terms of this meeting, I'm going to do something a little different in terms of starting with item 12, which these are administrative items. Item 12 is in CD 15. It's a specification submitted for the board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, Advanced Water. Is this also, let me interrupt, Dr. Campos, is this also an item in which you need a member present?
Mr. Chair, no presenter is required on item number 12, 13, and 14 as as much as they're administrative items. But we will need a motion from your board, though.
Okay, though, I wanted to verify. I will continue. Purification Facility, AWPF, Advanced Oxidation Process, AOP, Influent Recirculation, SIP 5124, Work Order Number SZT 11436, estimated at $5,464,000, and the bid receipt date is August 4th, 2021. May I receive a second to my motion to accept the administrative item number 12?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. And it's any unreadiness, Commissioner Colosa? Hearing and seeing none, that item will be passed forthwith. Next will be item number 13, release.
Dr. Davis, just for the record, we will enter that to be moved by President Pro Tem Davis and seconded by Commissioner Villegas, or is that the?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Item number 13, release of stop payment notice, Blue Diamond Materials. Blue Diamond Materials is transmitting a release of stop payment notice and a release of commencement of action in the amount of $5,650.34. And as originally filed on July 26, 2019, for furnishing supply out asphalt or mineral aggregates to Hardy and Harper Incorporated, the apparent subcontractor in the connection with the Davies Way 2044 bulkhead project. The primary contractor of this project is Ortiz Enterprises Incorporated, C-123910, communication number 122500. It was filed on June 10th, 2021. Reference, Board of Public Works, 2019-0586. Can we have a motion to accept administrative item 13?
So moved.
Okay, it's moved by Commissioner Colosa and seconded by Commissioner Villegas. And with that, there is no question or concerns for me, and that item will be moved forthwith. Next, we have item number 14, stop payment notice, Don H. Mahaffey Drilling Company. Don H. Mahaffey Drilling Company is transmitting a stop payment notice in the amount of $1,894,209.87 for cast-in drill hole concrete piling in connection with the Taylor Yard Bikeway pedestrian bridge over the Los Angeles River project to the primary contractor Ortiz Enterprises Incorporated, C-131965, WOE 1907 487, communication number 122501, filed on June 10th, 2021. May I receive a second to my motion to accept the passage of item number 14?
So moved.
Okay, thank you so much. Any unreadiness on that motion, Commissioner Colosa? Hearing and seeing none, that item will be passed forthwith. And now I'm going to go.
For the record, Mr. Chair, we'll enter that as moved by Davis and seconded by Commissioner Villegas.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I will go to item number 2. This will be in CD4, above ground facility ordinance variance, height limitation at 5180 West Wilshire Boulevard. Recommending the board, 1, approve the request for variance from the height requirement of the above ground facility ordinance per the Los Angeles Municipal Code section 62.08 VB for the steel monopole, and 2, authorize the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority to install a 62-foot high steel monopole in the public right-of-way adjacent to 5180 West Wilshire Boulevard. And reporting or presenting is Wesley Tanigiri. Wesley.
Thank you. Good morning. Wesley Tanigiri, Bureau of Engineering, Central District Office. The item before you is a request for variance from the AGF or above ground facility ordinance requirement for height limitations. It is located at 5180 Wilshire Boulevard and within Council District 4. MTA or Metro is requesting to install a 62-foot high monopole and mount wireless telecommunication antennas. The antenna is vital for providing communications for their maintenance, operations, and public safety. The request complies with the following 3 conditions of the AGF ordinance. It meets the aesthetics guidelines. The overheight pole is necessary for line of sight technology and was required to be in close proximity of the underground station. There are no other poles available for co-location. The pole was also approved by the Cultural Affairs Commission. In October 2020, Metro staff sent a second notification letter to adjoining property owners and tenants. CD4 and the Greater Wilshire Neighborhood Council were also notified. Of the 9 notification letters mailed, 0 responses were received. Based on Metro meeting the conditions for a variance, the Bureau of Engineering recommends the board approve the variance for the overheight monopole. I'm available for any questions, and I believe reps from Metro were also scheduled to attend. Thank you.
Okay. They're available for questions, or do they have presentations?
I believe if there's any questions.
Got it. Thank you so much, Mr. Tanigiri. With that, we will start with Commissioner Colosa.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis, for chairing today's meeting, and nice to see you as always in this chairman role. I appreciate your report, Mr. Tanigiri. I don't have any questions for this item. I know we met on this, and I just want to say we appreciate Metro's partnership and working with us on this item, and appreciate the DCA for working with us to get this variance approved and the design as well. So no questions for me. Just want some thanks.
Great. Commissioner Villegas.
Hi, good morning. I don't have any questions on this item either. Thank you for your report, Mr. Tanigiri.
Great. Can we receive a motion to accept item number 2?
So moved.
Okay, that is moved and seconded by Commissioner Villegas. And I have no questions on the item either. And we will accept that motion forthwith. Thank you so very much, Mr. Tanigiri. Next, we will have item number 3, which is in CD 11, sole source purchase cryogenic turbo expander control system at Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. Recommending the board, 1, authorize the director of the Bureau of Sanitation to request the Department of General Services to purchase materials and labor to overhaul the cryogenic turbo expander control systems, a system located at the oxygen generating facility at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant with a maximum cost of $790,000, including labor, taxes, shipping, and handling. And 2, direct the Department of General Services, as authorized by the city charter, to create a sole source one-time purchase order for the vendor LA Turbine for the purchase of the aforementioned item WOSZH 12067. And reporting on item, presenting item 3 is Sarirath King. Or is
Hi,
it
good.
Kang? Is it
It's
King
King.
or Kang?
It's Kang. Yes, thank you.
Kang. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. So I am Sariwat Kang, and I will be presenting on this item. The turbo expander and its control system are integral parts of the cryogenic air separation process, which produces between 210 to 230 tons or 44,000 gallons of liquid oxygen per day. The liquid oxygen is used to feed the biological processes needed to treat approximately 260 million gallons of wastewater per day before safely discharging the secondary effluent into the Santa Monica Bay. Failure to maintain this treatment process will result in the violation of the plant's NPDES permit. The turbo expander and its control system were originally installed in 1995 and have yet to be upgraded since that initial commissioning. The system is now considered obsolete and is in dire need of replacement to continue the reliable operation of Hyperion's treatment process. This project will replace and provide a new cabinet, updated PLC, improved sensors, and instrumentation. This project will be completed in coordination with CIP 8156, which will refurbish the existing cold boxes, which is set to begin this summer in August of 2021. The control panel is critical to the operation of the cryogenic process, and failing to upgrade the control panels will result in a lack of reliability and increased downtime, which will result in the purchase of liquid oxygen, resulting in an additional cost of about $22,000 per day at about 50 cents per gallon. In the case of an emergency, however, the cost for liquid oxygen will be over three times the cost as stated. The control panel in its current state may fail at any time and should be replaced as soon as possible. Due to the highly specialized scope of work needed to replace this control panel, Hyperion has reached out to 3 separate vendors to solicit their expertise. The control system is obsolete, and none of the manufacturers are able to provide an in-kind replacement. Therefore, each proposal submitted was similar but different. Of the 3 proposals, LA Turbine was able to provide the lowest cost, the quickest turnaround time, and therefore the best value for the city. The one-time PO will allow the plant to avoid a lengthy bid and award process and will enable us to procure a quick replacement for the control system. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King, I wanted to ask, if we look at the new control panel that we will be acquiring, what is the difference between the current one that we are purchasing and the old one as far as productivity or capacity is concerned?
With regards to capacity, it should meet the current design capacity. However, the new control system will be updated. We will have a new PLC, and we will have improved instrumentation and sensors to monitor the process.
Great. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you. Thank you for your report, Mr. King. It was really informative. I was just wondering, did LA Turbine, were they the ones who had the control panel before?
No, it was originally designed by Lindy of Germany.
Okay. All right. I don't have any further questions. I would like to, just get a tour also, just to be able to see, where this is going to be installed and how it's going to work. We can talk about that offline. I just would like to learn a little bit more.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. I don't have any questions. I thought Mr. King gave a good report, and I don't have any questions for him. Thank you.
May we receive a motion to accept Mr. King's item number 4?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Villegas, and is that a second by Commissioner Caloza? And I have no questions on the motion, and we will move that motion so ordered forthwith. Thank you so much, Mr. King.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to skip to item number...
Mr. Chair, just for clarification, that was item number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 4? 3.
For the record, yes.
Yeah, 3, yes. In fact, I'm going to skip over 4, to be exact, and I'm going to go to... Oh, you okay. All right. Okay. All right. Our chair is back. Our president is back.
Thank you, sir. I enjoyed listening to you. I appreciate it very much. Good morning, everyone. Please forgive a conflict, but it was very good for the Board of Public Works, and it's good to see everybody. So thank you, President Pro Tem Davis, very much. I think it brings us to item 4, which we are going to continue, and we will continue that item to Wednesday, July 14th.
Mr. President, on Wednesday, July 14th, we do have a substantial item for the La Gloria Appeals relocation hearing that may take several hours. We can always add it to the 14th, but just wanted to highlight that for you.
Yeah, you're right. No, so let's put it on the 16th.
So that would be Friday, July 16th.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Hearing no objections. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, President, or thank you, Dr. Campos. All right. Let's go to item number 5. Item number 5, colleagues, is a tree removal, 18300 Tarzana Drive in Council District 3. Recommending the board, 1, find that this project is categorically exempt under section 15332, class 32 of the State of California Environmental Quality Act guidelines, and there is no substantial evidence the proposed project will have significant effect on the environment and is in compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act. 2, specify that the Bureau of Street Services Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 3, review and approve the request for a no-fee permit for the removal of 33 western sycamore trees. Tree replacements are required. Looks like, I think Mr. Miranda is with us today on this item. Is that correct?
Yes, good morning.
Hi, David. How are you, sir?
Great, thank you.
Mr. President, before Mr. Miranda starts his presentation, we do have 3 callers on the line for item number 5. Would you like to consider those comments at this time?
Yeah, Ms. Miranda, if you can hold, let's go ahead and hear let's hear public comment on the item. Thank you, Dr. Campos.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. We will now consider public comments on item number 5. The board is now considering the tree removal at 18300 Tarzana Drive. We have 3 members on the line, or 3 members from the general public on the line. We'll go ahead and start with the first person who dialed in, which is caller 688, caller ending in 688. Diana Nicole, if you can please press *6 at this time to unmute your microphone. You will have 2 minutes to speak on item number 5. Please go ahead.
Hi, Commissioners. Diana Nicole. I'm on the board of Los Angeles Audubon. I am an accredited ecological landscape professional, and I have successfully planted and maintained California sycamore trees for decades in the city for civic organizations, private landowners, and the Walt Disney Company. I wanted to start by saying that golf courses function as bird refuges. They cool the surrounding areas and provide meaningful green buffers for communities. I have a few problems with this request that's before you. First, you are being asked to approve the plan to allow the removal of 38 California sycamore trees on the applicant's promise to plant coast live oak trees. Staff is asking that there be no permit fees and no requirement to plant the replacement trees or guarantee their survival for 3 years because they assert that declining or hazardous protected trees are not actually protected under our protected tree ordinance. So I'd like to know where this is stated in our protected tree ordinance for our native trees. But there are several other problems with this request. One, coast live oak trees serve very different ecological functions. So mitigating the loss of California sycamores by planting coast live oak trees, which is what the applicant is promising to do, doesn't mitigate the loss of the California sycamore trees, which is significant because it's 38, although other places in the recital it says 33. Second, the experts on the shot hole bore, which is the reason for the decline that's been given at UC Riverside, have made it abundantly clear that the California sycamore is not any more susceptible to the borer than the coast live oak. And lastly, coast live oaks and turf grass, which is what they would be planted in, have very different watering needs. So they will not survive in a golf course setting where the sycamores were. So in my opinion, this is a terrible idea to...
Thank you.
Mr. President, I went ahead and muted that caller. I did give 3 warnings at this time, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next caller on the line.
Dr. Campos, let me just for the record, explain to folks, we set limits and have to be fairly strict about those limits because as a matter of fairness. If we allow folks to just continue over and we don't allow everyone, then it becomes a fairness matter. So thank you very much for joining us. Our last caller.
Thank you, Mr. President. We'll go ahead and move on to the next caller. Caller ending in 671. Caller ending in 671. If you can please press *6 to unmute your microphone. You'll be given 2 minutes to speak on this item, item number 5. Silva, if you can go ahead and please press *6. There you go. Silva, if you can hear us, please go ahead. You have 2 minutes to speak on this item, item number 5.
Okay. Hi, I'm Silva Blackstone, retired certified arborist, and what I was just reading, going over again this morning, was the addendum to this report from the consultant. Okay, so who did the original report, and then she added an addendum. So originally they had recommended that 15 trees of the, I'm not seeing the grand total of the sycamore trees on the property, but they be treated. But at this time when she, the addendum is for June 15th, 2021. And she's recommending removal of all of sycamore trees. Okay, I just wanted to put that as a placeholder for the facts. In looking at the photographs of these trees, I'm not that familiar with this disease, but these trees are reported to be dropping limbs. The bark is peeling off of the trees. There's multiple places where the trees are exuding, trying to fight off the fungus. And anyway, as a former certified arborist, I had to bring bad news to a lot of people, and this is a bad news situation. If you can't have people walking around, golfers and maintenance people and the general public, and having trees that look as bad as these do and are dropping limbs unexpectedly. You cannot have this kind of a hazardous tree or trees with a target like that. So I think that I totally agree with the arborist recommendation, and that all the sycamores should be removed.
Thank you.
And then
We'll go ahead and move on to the next caller and final caller on the line. Shelley, caller ending in 091, caller ending in 091. If you can please press *6 at this time to unmute your microphone. You have 2 minutes to speak on item number 5.
Good morning, Dr. Campos and Commissioners, President Good. This is Shelley Billick. I'm the chair of the Community Forest Advisory Committee, and I'm going to speak quickly because I only have 2 minutes, and also because I get back to work and have a meeting right now. I wanted to comment on a couple of things that I saw I'm actually familiar with this facility. I've been there numerous times for events, and I am also familiar with the infestation of the invasive or polyphagous shot-hole borer. In fact, I just attended a training by LA County on how to identify and document and understand this pest and the fungus that it leaves behind that destroys trees. So while I understand that an infestation is something that needs to be addressed, it's not always a death sentence. I do think that some trees can be treated. But more importantly, I wanted to identify two issues with this removal. One is that I don't see anywhere in the language of the protected tree ordinance where there is no fee for removing a diseased or at-risk tree. Those still should incur a fee because it still costs our city the inspection fees and UFD to process this request. And secondly, and probably more importantly, is that the reason the sycamores are there in the golf course is that they're being irrigated. Their riparian trees require more water. Oak trees, coast live oak trees, on the other hand, should not be watered, especially during the hot summer season. They're completely different species, have different maintenance requirements, and probably will do very poorly in a irrigated turf golf course.
2 minutes.
So I think it's really important to pay attention to these details. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ms. Miller.
Mr. President, that clears the queue for any public comments for item number 5.
All right, thank you, Dr. Campos. All right, Mr. Miranda, why don't you proceed with the presentation? And by the way, is the applicant here?
I do not believe so. However, let me just make a quick call for if the applicant is on the line for item number 5. Caller ending in 008, could that possibly be you? If it is, if you can please press *6 to unmute your microphone. Mr. President, it does not appear to be that the applicant's on the line.
Okay. All right, Mr. Miranda, go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone. Board of Public Works, Commissioners, Dr. Campos, and President Good. UFD is requesting at 18300 Tarzana Drive in Council District 3, request board approval for a no fee to removal of 33 California sycamore, Plantus racemosa trees due to the invasive shot-hole borer and disease infestation. Tree replacements are required. If approved, the applicant shall replant 92 15-gallon size container live oak Quercus agrifolia trees. The oak trees were identified for replants to minimize potential for the ISHB and disease to spread throughout the property and community while replenishing the tree loss with the native species that is prevalent in the area. Streets alley endeavors to preserve whenever possible and only considered removal of healthy live trees after all alternatives are exhausted. A streets alley arborist inspected the property on June 10th, 2021 to verify the condition of the trees. Upon inspection of the property, 10 western sycamore trees were verified as completely dead and 28 western sycamore trees were observed in severe decline and heavily infested with invasive shot-hole borer with several hits. Due to the irreversible condition of the trees and heavy insect infestation, it is recommended that 33 western sycamore trees to be removed. On June 11, 2021, Council District 3 Community Forestry Advisory Committee and the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment were all notified. The El Caballero Country Club, located at 18300 Tarzana Drive, is a membership organization use of private golf course that encompasses approximately 146 acres. The golf course is currently undergoing extensive renovation, which includes grading and soil preparation work needed for some of the renovated greens and fairways. During the renovation work, ownership staff observed several dead and distressed trees within the adjacent to the project and on site. Ownership was concerned for the health and condition of the several mature trees growing throughout the property, as they have been reported numerous limb failures and severe trees that appear to be declining rapidly throughout the golf course property. A street alley arborist inspected the location on June 10th and verified that this report is accurate with the IHHB in decline and concurred with the findings of the report. Of the 48 western sycamore trees on the site, 23 are severely infected with ISHB in decline and 10 are dead. The remaining 15 sycamore trees are targeted for treatment, pruning to remove any infested branches, and will continuously to be monitored to help recover and preserve the remaining sycamore trees on the property. Therefore, to reduce the spread and limit the property damage, Streets Outlet requests your board to approve the no-fee tree removal permit for the 33 protected western sycamore trees. The property owner has been advised of these recommendations contained within this report. This concludes the report. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Miranda. All right, colleagues, let's open it up. Commissioner Colosa, why don't you kick us off if you have any questions?
Thank you, President Good. Thanks for your report, Mr. Miranda. And thank you to all the callers who dialed in. I know it's tough to do public comment sometimes, fitting it in between work, but we appreciate you all taking the time to do that. And for you, Mr. Miranda, I'm sure Mr. Banuelos is super thrilled that he doesn't have to present this item as he always does. I had a few clarifying questions. I saw a few different numbers in the board report. If you could just clarify, maybe confirm for us what we're looking at. In the board report, obviously the title reflects the 3 tree removals, as did your oral report. There's also references in there about 38 trees to be removed, and then the actual application itself, that was an attachment, it referenced 21 removed. So can you clarify for us what is the number of tree removals we're looking at? Is it 33, 21, or 38?
So the current is 33. There was a typo on the board report. I caught that this morning myself. So it's 33 tree removals. The previous one was, there was an addendum that was presented. So it's 33 total. The previous one had less trees to remove.
And is that increase from 21 to 33 because of the invasive species that was shared? Or did they end up being part of that analysis and caught after?
Correct.
Okay. And for the 92 replacement trees, can you just confirm for me what ratio of tree replacements are we doing there? I was just trying to add up the math.
Right. So
how you got to 92?
So it's for the 10 completely dead trees, there was no replacement on those. So the replacement for the 23 that are dead, dying, disease, and heavily infested with the IHSB, those are the trees that are on the 4-to-1 tree replacement. And weren't part of the requirement, but the applicant went ahead and agreed with Hector on this commitment to replant.
And on the ones that were already dead trees, they did a 1-to-1?
No, there's no replacement on those. So it's just the 23 that are dead, dying. It's a 4-to-1 replacement. The dead ones, there's no replacement.
Okay, got it. Now I see how you got your 92. I was trying to figure out your
Sorry about that.
your math on that.
I was trying to figure that math out too.
Okay, I was like a big circle mark on my report of how did David get to this?
Right.
And I understand too, and I know this is written in the report, but it'd be great if you could reiterate again. So, like, how many trees are you all actually saving? And I know there's a lot of people who care about trees, and that this was a tough analysis for your team, but I know this was a.
All right. So there's going to be 15 remaining sycamore trees that are targeted for treatment, pruning to remove any infested branches, and will continuously to be monitored to recover and preserve the remaining sycamore trees on the property. If they decline further, then at that point they would come and request an additional permit. But at the moment, they are going to stay and continue to be monitored.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you for clarifying those numbers for me. I don't have any further questions for you. I understand that this is, not ideal, but at the same time, we want to make sure that more trees don't get infected with this, tree disease. And so, thank you for your report and for clarifying those numbers for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Closer. President Pro Tem Davis? You're muted, Mike.
Sorry about that. The kind of trees that we are substituting, the issue was raised about the kind of tree that we have selected to substitute requires different kinds of treatment than the trees that we are removing. Can you speak to that?
Right, the oak tree is less susceptible to the IHSB, so that's the reason why Hector went ahead and agreed to that's the better tree for the right place. And they require less watering and due to the current drought conditions, and another reason why they decided to go with the oak tree.
Do they provide the same amount of canopy that the other oak trees provided over time?
They provide, my personal belief, more canopy coverage than the sycamore does, yes.
Okay.
Yes, more. It's more of a broadhead tree.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Miranda, for your report. I appreciate all the callers that called in, and just take the time to be able to call in and just give us their expertise, as landscape arborists. Appreciate that, and thank you, President Billick from CFAC for calling in and just giving us the information in terms of watering and maintenance. I heard Mr. Miranda just say that the coastline oak was selected because of less possibility of getting infestation and also just because it's less watering purposes. Mr. Miranda, if you could let us know, I know that the golf course is just on a regular timer for sprinklers. Is this something that they are going to update and just to keep up with maintenance for these trees?
Yes, irrigation systems were stated that they were going to be installed, but as far as maintenance, there's no maintenance agreement or any type of.
Is there any way for us to ask for an updated maintenance agreement for these trees so that there's just best management practices for this type of tree as an addendum or in the permit?
As far as I know, there's none at this point, but the golf courses on most circumstances do take care of all their greens and the grass and any type of trees on the property, especially at that golf course. They're known for it's a nice golf course, and most of the golf courses do always maintain their trees in great condition to limit any type of risk out in the public.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm just saying that, since we're going to be putting this type of tree, doesn't require as much watering, and yet the golf course does want to maintain their grass green. How are they going to be able to maintain these trees? And is there any avenue for us to be able to give the golf course suggestions for this type of tree that they're going to be planting?
Yes, that'll all be discussed with the arborist and also with the installation of the trees. We'll ensure that the instructions and any detailed information related to the oak tree and proper care for the tree.
That. Thank you. And I would just ask that once that agreement is made, or as that agreement is made, if you can keep me updated in terms of the details of the maintenance plan. Just for my purposes and to be able just to learn, because I do take what CFAC says very seriously, and we just want to be able to maintain a good canopy. I appreciate it. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. So I am curious. So why isn't there a watering plan attached to this, David, whereas normally there would be?
It's a golf course. The trees will be irrigated as needed. So I'll ask Hector to follow up with because he's been dealing with the whole transaction throughout the beginning to the end. and we'll make sure that it's called out in the permit.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. It's in their interest versus, let's say, a street tree where it's sort of out in isolation. It's not in the golf course's interest to not take care of these trees. But I was curious. So that makes sense, and I think that follow-up would be welcomed. Yeah, this is a disappointment, obviously, and I'm sure for the golf course, but I know that fungus is intense, and it'll kill a bunch of trees. And Commissioner Villegas and I also briefed with our chief forestry officer as well, Rachel Mallory. She was on vacation, and she very much agreed with UFD's recommendation on this as well. So, including not replanting sycamores in this situation. So, as unfortunate as this situation is, I am prepared to take a motion to move the item forward.
Move it.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any follow-up questions or concerns, Commissioner Colosa? Okay. Hearing no objections, the item is adopted and approved forthwith. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Miranda. Thank you also to President Billick and members of the public for coming to join us. Appreciate it. Okay. Folks, that brings us to, I'll tell you what let's do, because I think we've got a bunch of metro rules waiting for us. Let's skip forward to item 9, and then we'll come back to the to 5 through 8. Item 9.
Mr. Chair, before you move on to item number 9, for item number 5 that was just approved, we will make a note in the journal that page number 2 should reflect the 23 sycamore trees that were in severe decline for a total of 33 trees to Commissioner Colosa's line of questioning.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, item 9. This is a street closure, Metro Regional Connector Transit Corridor Project, 2nd Street, between Broadway and Spring Street, between First Street and 3rd Street. Removal of traffic decking, backfill of excavation, and pavement restoration. Work order number E1907394, recommending the board, 1, find that the board has reviewed and considered the information in the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority Regional Connector Transit Corridor Project Draft Environmental Impact Statement, Environmental Impact Report, transmittal number 1, and final EIR, transmittal number 2. 2, find under the California Public Resources Code, Section 21166, and the California Environmental Quality Act Guidelines, Section 15162, on the basis of substantial evidence contained in the whole record that since certification of the EIR, there have been no changes with respect to the circumstances under which the temporary street closure being undertaken would require a subsequent EIR or supplemental EIR. 3, adopt the January 20, 2012 Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, Chapter 8 of the final EIR, and Appendix 3, Memorandum of Agreement, transmittal number 3, prepared by Metro as pertains to construction impacts. 4, find under CEQA guidelines, Section 15091, the changes have been incorporated into the project which substantially lessen the significant environmental effects as identified in the final EIR. Further, find that there is no feasible alternative or additional feasible mitigation measures within the board's powers that would substantially lessen any significant effect the project would have on the environment. 5, adopt the attached CEQA findings of fact and statement of overriding considerations, transmittal 4, as it pertains to the temporary street closure, and find that the economic, social, technological, and other benefits of the project outweigh the significant and unavoidable impacts. 6, specify that the Metro Transit Division of the Bureau of Engineering, located at 114 South Broadway, the board, located at 200 North Spring Street, and other relevant City of Los Angeles departments or custodians of the documents or other material which constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. 7, approve the request, transmittal 5, to extend the existing temporary closure of 2nd Street between Broadway and Spring Street for 28 calendar days starting Monday, June 28, 2021, and at 5 a.m. and ending Monday, July 26, 2021, at 5 a.m., subject to the conditions identified within this report. 8, approve the request to temporarily close Spring Street between 1st and 3rd Street for one 56-hour weekend each, starting Friday, July 23, 2021 at 9 p.m. and ending Monday, July 26, 2021 at 5 a.m., subject to the conditions identified within this report. 9, approve the peak hour exemption request for number 6 to allow construction work within the public right of way during weekday morning peak hours 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and weekday afternoon peak hours 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. starting Monday, June 28, 2021 and ending Friday, July 23, 2021 for 2nd Street between Broadway and Spring Street. And 10, authorize the city engineer and the director of the Bureau of Street Services to administratively approve an extension of up to one additional week beginning Monday, July 26, 2021 at 5 a.m. and ending Monday, August 2, 2021 at 5 a.m. If unforeseen conditions are encountered which may delay the completion of this construction, work order E190739. I see Mr. Antonelli. Mr. Antonelli, good afternoon or good morning.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Why don't you jump right in for us?
Did you want me to give the report, Person Good?
Sorry, Larry. That was a mistake. Hi, Matt. Hold tight.
I can hand it over to Matt. Happy to do that.
That was a brain freeze. Mr. Shu, good morning.
Sure. Good morning. Fernando, is there public comment?
Oh, there was one. No, it was a written public comment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, on item number 4, we do not have any members of the general public for this item. Item number 9, sorry,
9.
Apologies.
Okay.
However, we did receive a comment through our Google email form that was distributed to all commissioners, and also, Larry, you were part of that email.
All right.
Sorry again, Larry, but go ahead and proceed.
All right. Thank you, President Good. Good morning. This is Larry Hsu from the Bureau of Engineering, Metro Transit Division. The Metro Regional Connector Project is a 1.9-mile underground light rail transit line that will extend from the Gold Line, Little Tokyo Station to the 7th Street Metro Center. In the coming year, there will be a series of street closures requests as the Regional Connector completes underground work and backfills the major excavations and restores streets. The location of today's request is in the vicinity of the new historic Broadway station. On October 27, 2020, the board authorized a street closure of 2nd Street between Spring and Broadway from October 30th, 2020 to June 28th, 2021, 8 months, and the adjacent intersections for 8 weekends. This current request is to extend the ongoing closure of 2nd Street between Broadway and Spring for an additional 28 calendar days, starting June 28 to 2021 and ending July 26, 2021. This request also includes a new weekend closure of Spring between 1st Street and 3rd Street for one 56-hour weekend, starting July 23rd to July 26, 2021. The work plan during this street closure is to remove temporary roadway decking, backfill of the excavation, and perform street restoration. The progress at this location has been impacted due to the need to address a deteriorated existing duct bank and an unplanned modification of a ventilation shaft. The major submittals associated with this have been approved by BOE and other bureaus of the Department of Public Works. I want to mention that when the original street closure was heard back in October of last year, there was a pending design of the southwest corner of 2nd and Broadway. That design has progressed, and the major civil portion of that design has been approved by BOE. There are some elements that are associated with the final restoration
that are under the purview of DOT and BSL that are still pending at this time. However, these are not anticipated to impact the street opening associated with this closure. There are no unresolved notices of noncompliance issued by BCA for the Regional Connector project, and the associated worksite control plan has been approved by LADOT. As part of evaluating this request, staff from BOE's Environmental Management Division reviewed the environmental documentation from Metro and generated a memo, which is attached to this report, which summarizes the impacts and mitigation measures associated with this closure. The LA Police Commission has granted a construction noise variance for this work, and CD14 has provided its support for this street closure extension as well. Metro has performed outreach for this closure extension to stakeholders, including the Grand Central Market, LAPD, and Metro bus operations. That concludes my report. As per usual, we have staff from BOE, LADOT, Metro, and RCC available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Matt, anything you want to add?
Thanks, President Good and Commissioners. I don't have a whole lot more to add. And this has been a really tough area to work in, and it's even excavating down and backfilling back up is extremely tough. As was mentioned, there's a lot of utilities that we're working in and around and trying to protect, and some that we just have to replace. So we've been working really hard to keep this moving. We do recognize that we are asking for an extension here, but we have been pushing to open as soon as we can. Olga's also on the phone, and she's her team's been doing an outstanding job meeting with the community. So if you have any questions about specific stakeholders, I'm sure we can answer those as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that very much. All right, colleagues, and hi, Mr. Roy, I see you there. Colleagues, we'll open this up. Commissioner Villegas, do you have any questions?
Thank you. Thank you for the report, Mr. Shi, and thank you, Mr. Antonelli, for joining us this morning. I just have one question. Thanks for the outreach component that you mentioned. Just wanted to see, did you guys reach all the senior housing that's right there on Broadway, just to make sure that those folks, I mean, they're always they're big pedestrians in and around that area. I just wanted to make sure that they were also reached out to.
Good morning, Commissioner Villegas. My name is Olga Arroyo, and I'm the Community Relations Manager for Regional Connector. And I would like to confirm with a yes to your question, we have been doing outreach to all the residential properties adjacent to the 2nd Street closure.
I appreciate it. Just commend you on this project. It's just so difficult. And then, the state reopening is a lot of work cut out for you all. I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. President Pro Tem Davis.
Yeah, I just had some basic questions about what's our overall goal, our anticipated goal to complete the project overall?
Construction, we anticipate completing construction next year. There's a long period of testing prior to opening up a revenue service. So in all intents and purposes, construction or testing will begin first quarter of 2022. Mm-hmm. Right now we're pushing for revenue service fall 2022. So once we get the station backfilled and the street open and the street restoration completed, and obviously a lot of our work is underground and won't be seen by the public, and that's the goal for right now.
Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Colosa.
Thank you, President Good. Thank you for your report, Mr. Shu, and for your work on, and also Metro's team on the design for that basement area that was a tricky design, I know, for all teams involved. I don't have, I guess the one question I'll ask for Mr. Antonelli, and I know you're getting thrown into this, is do you anticipate any additional future closures for this area? I know this is an extension of an existing one. One of the things that I had asked Mr. Shu when he briefed me on this item was about the outreach, as you know, because when we began this closure, we were in the middle of a pandemic. And now when we're continuing this closure, we're actually open, so that additional layer of outreach that you all did, I know is super critical. So I appreciate Ms. Arroyo and your team doing that. But can you speak a little bit about that, Mr. Antonelli, and what your expectations and goals are for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So once this work is completed and the street is open, we call it steady state, and that's what it's going to look like for a while as we complete some of the other construction around the area and then start restoring the curb and gutters and sidewalks and other things in the area. All of the areas that we're working in are going to have to come back at some point and have a final cap and permanent striping place. So there will be some impacts to streets and closures that we will be requesting in the future. With this area in particular, there's also a very complex AT&T facility that we're installing, some additional vaults that were, as we excavated the area down, the vaults were not able to be saved. So part of the work right now is setting that work up and putting the infrastructure in. And when these vaults come in later on this year, we will have to have some closures. It won't look like what it is today. It won't be this dramatic, but we will have some closures coming up in the future.
Thank you for sharing that. I don't have any further questions for you and the Metro team. I got the response from Ms. Arroyo on the additional outreach. And same as usual, Mr. Shu, just please let us know if they do end up using that contingency weekend. But I don't have any further questions. Thank you.
Will do.
Thank you. Thanks, Commissioner Rosa. And yeah, agreed. The additional administrative wiggle room that I think is important. I also would want to be alerted that that's employed or availed. And thanks for the explanation on outreach. Closer makes a great point. The need for outreach and the dynamic of it is going to be pretty dynamic right now. And so doubling down, for lack of a better way to put it, is going to be pretty critical here. So thank you all very much. I will take I have no further questions though. I'll take a motion to approve the item.
So moved.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. Any objections, Commissioner Villegas?
None.
All right, hearing no objections, the item is adopted and approved forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Shu. Thank you, Mr. Antonelli. Thank you, Mr. Coelho. It's good to see y'all as always.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, friends and colleagues, let's go back to item number 1, which is the receipt of bids on the for project Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant ferric chloride facility replacement, CIP 2460. This is a rebid. Work order SZH 11854. The estimated cost of the project, $2,090,000.00. This is obviously at Hyperion, and so it is obviously CD11. Good morning to me. We're going to take the bids.
While you're waiting, just came back. I don't have to do it. I know you signed yesterday. Is it wrong? You just have to re-sign. You checked the wrong thing. When you have a change. Okay. Right. Do you need the bid?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, good.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, for your Executive Officer. We will now begin to open up the bids for today's agenda. We have 4 bids in total. The first bid received is from Metro Builders and Engineers Group, Ltd., for a total bid amount of $2,520,410 even. That's 2520410 from Metro Builders and Engineers Group Limited. For the record, line item number 6 and line item number 7 has been crossed out by the contractor, and both lines have been initialed. The second bid received for this project is from PPC Construction Incorporated for a total bid amount of $2,461,340 even. That's 2461340 from PPC Construction Incorporated. The third bid received for this project is from Carbon Activated Corporation for a total bid amount of $2,487,900 even. That's 2487900 from Carbon Activated Corporation. The fourth and final bid received for this project is from Murray Plumbing and Heating, doing business as Murray Company. Total bid amount of $2,616,923 even. That's 2616923 from Murray Company. Mr. President, that concludes the bid openings for today's project and today's agenda as well.
Thank you, Dr. Campos. Thank you, Kumi. All right. Do I have a motion to accept the bids?
So moved.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Colosa. Any concerns, Commissioner Villegas? Hearing none. The bids for the ferric chloride facility replacement at Hyperion are received and accepted and adopted forthwith. All right. So let's now go to item number 6. We'll let Dr. Campos get resituated. There we go. All right, item 6, sole source procurement, process equipment and services for the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant Technical Support Facility Mechanical Equipment Upgrades Project, Capital Improvement Project number 2459. Recommending the board, 1, authorize the Director and General Manager of LA Sanitation and Environment to request the city engineer to sole source the procurement of the following equipment and service for a total not to exceed $230,000, including contingency. 1, Dynamic Water Technologies LLC Standard Dynamic Scale Reactor with real-time monitoring system for an amount not to exceed $98,000, including contingency. And then Johnson Controls Inc. services to provide integration of the DWT standard DSR-8 and cooling towers to the technical support facility building automation system for an amount not to exceed $132,000, including contingency. And 2, authorize the city engineer to negotiate a price agreement with DWT and JCI for the above referenced reactor system and services respectively, which will be procured and installed by the general contractor awarded the construction project. Work order SZH 11928. Mr. Wong, you're here with us on this item, right?
Correct.
Hello, Ethan. How are you, sir? Good morning.
Good. How are you, President Good?
Very good.
Great. Good morning, everyone. This is Ethan Wong with the Bureau of Engineering's Environmental Engineering Division. The report before you is to request the sole source items for our project at the Technical Support Facility, known as the TSF building at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. The TSF building was constructed in 1998, and the plants, or the building's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system, also known as the HVAC system, was constructed at the same time. As of now, that system has been in place for 23 years and is at the end of its service life. It requires a ton of maintenance to keep the system up running, so we are replacing it with this project. As part of this project, there are 2 sole source that we are requesting. The first from Dynamic Water Technologies, and they are what are called dynamic scale reactors. What these DSR-8s are, they are basically cooling towers. So the original HVAC system at the building has 2 cooling towers that are part of the air conditioning system. These will be replaced with these standard dynamic scale reactors. The reason we are requesting sole source of these reactors is because they have a unique technology using partial electrolysis. What this does, it prevents scaling corrosion within the cooling towers, providing for more efficiency and buildup. The existing cooling towers are highly corroded and have a lot of scale, which reduces the efficiency of the cooling process and so on and so forth. What this partial electrolysis technology also does, it basically, for hard water that's within the system, within the makeup water, the electrolysis allows this to solidify and settle to the bottom. Typically in these cooling tower systems, the minerals remain suspended in the water, and this goes to corroding the heat transfer elements as well as providing scale on top of those, which reduces the efficiency of the system. While this is happening, evaporation of water within the system concentrates these solids in the water within the cooling tower. And to prevent scaling, the systems typically blow down the water or drop the water out. But because these DSR-8 systems are able to keep that from happening as much, there isn't as much blowdown of the water. So this basically contributes to a 20% annual water savings for this type of reactor, and we have seen this in real life. In 2018, DWT installed these same scale reactors at the James K. Hahn City Hall East building, and they've been working well since. So that is the reason we want to sole source these DSR-8 reactors for this project at a cost not to exceed $98,000. The second part of the report is to sole source Johnson Controls Inc.'s services to provide integration of these DSR-8 cooling towers. So at the moment, the HVAC system is controlled by a building automation system that is basically fabricated by JCI, and JCI installed that. JCI has an annual contract with the city of Los Angeles. So the reasons for sole sourcing JCI are to not only are they the current providers of the maintenance and the control system at the building, but to also decrease any potential liability to the city by having another company modify JCI's product. We are requesting to sole source JCI to integrate the new DSR-8 into the building automation system for an amount not to exceed $132,000. So I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Wong. Commissioner Closer, any questions?
Thank you, President Good. I don't have any questions for Mr. Wong. I thought he did a nice job summarizing the report and the need for this, and I appreciate his additional notes for some of the cost savings for why they picked this. So I think that's always helpful to know. But no questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Closer. President Pro Tem Davis?
No questions for me on this item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Villegas?
Hi, good morning, and thank you, Mr. Wong, for your report. Appreciate just all the background. You always make issues that are so complicated very reasonable and understandable for ourselves. Just in layman's terms, I don't have any questions. Just for my educational purposes, though, I'm going to request just to be able to see this, work, just so I can better understand. And I just mentioned that because we do get so many sole source, contracts from the Bureau of Sanitation. I see where you're going with this in terms of any kind of risk that, it's imperative for us to be able to take with JCI so that we decrease problems. But it would be good if I just, went out and had a site tour and just to be able to understand just a little bit more. just about the mechanics and how all of this works.
Sure. No
Thank
problem.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Thank you, Mr. Wong. Agreed. Actually, I would love to ask City Attorney Mr. Ted Jordan. Ted, are you do you want to weigh in for the record on the sole source element?
Yeah, for all the reasons that Ethan laid out here, we concur in the really a joint recommendation from the two bureaus. These are highly complicated facilities that we maintain and operate. So this is the exact thing that we try to do to keep these plants operational and reliable. So we concur in the recommendation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jordan. All right, I have no further questions. And Commissioner Villegas, if you have not done a tour of Hyperion, you need to do it anyway. Cooling towers or not, it is a colossus. All right, thank you, Mr. Wong. I have no further questions. I'll motion to move the item forward. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Any concerns, Pelosa or Villegas? All right, hearing none, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you very much, Ethan. Well, I think we get you again right now.
Correct.
Very good. Item number 7. So the item is adopted forthwith, Dr. Campos. Item 7, sole source procurement, process equipment and services, capital improvement project 5124. Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, Advanced Water Purification Facility, Advanced Oxidation Process, Fluid Recirculation. Recommending the board, 1, authorize the Director and General Manager of LA Sanitation and Environment to request the City Engineer to sole source the selection of chrome magnetic flow meters for an amount not to exceed $70,000 for the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, Advanced Water Purification Facility, Advanced Oxidation Process Fluid Recirculation Project. And 2, authorize the City Engineer to negotiate a price agreement with Crone for the above referenced MFMs, which will be procured and installed by the general contractor awarded the construction project. Work order SZT 11436. Mr. Wong, please proceed.
Thank you. Once again, this is Ethan Wong with the Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. The sole source board report before you is requesting a sole source of a chrome magnetic flow meter for our Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant's Advanced Water Purification Facility, also known as the AWPF, for the Advanced Oxidation Process Effluent, known as our AOP. So the current AWPF doesn't have the capability of recirculating non-compliant product water back into the system for treatment. So currently, if there is a short-term loss of compliance for the product water, what happens is the product water is currently diverted to the outfall, and water that is stored in the recycled water stabilization tank, where the compliant product water is stored, can be lost and has to be flushed out, losing up to 800,000 gallons of recycled water. Obviously, this is something that we don't want to happen because we do have customers that use this water. So in order to keep this from happening and losing the product water, this project will basically recirculate water from the AOP back to the microfiltration, which is, basically diverting water from the end of the AWPF process to the beginning, so that this water, non-compliant water, could be treated again. As part of this process, we need flow meters, which will basically gauge the flow running through this new recirculation pipe. And there are specific chrome magnetic flow meters that are ideal for this type of application, where the pipe may be partially filled. This flow meter has been installed 140 different times at our various water reclamation plants throughout the the city and is become standardized by LA Sanitation. So we're requesting to use this here again, not only for operation and maintenance purposes, as staff has already been trained on the use of these flow meters, how to read them, and the maintenance required to keep them operational, but also for their unique ability in use in partially filled pipes. That pretty much sums up my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time. Thank you.
We approved another part for this project, correct? Recently, I believe.
Correct. Yeah, we requested to have the manufacturer and installer of the ALP come out and be sole source to basically tie into that system.
Thank you. Thank you, Ethan. Commissioner Close, any questions?
Questions for me. I thought Mr. Wong did a great job explaining the justification and the need for this equipment. Thank you, Mr. Wong.
President Pro Tem Davis?
Yeah, just a general question. The water, this reclaimed water, is it used for a certain purpose or is it used for all purposes in terms of those who acquire the water from us? What do they use it for?
Go ahead, Fernando.
Yeah, Commissioner, hi, Fernando Gonzalez with Los Angeles Sanitation and Environment Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plan.
Hi, Fernando.
Hello everyone. Commissioner, President Good, Dr. Campos, and Assistant City Attorney Jordan. Currently, as you guys are aware, Terminal Island recycles wastewater into potable water. Currently, we use this potable water for indirect potable reuse at the Dominguez Gap seawater intrusion barrier. And also, we are sending our recycled water to refineries and industries around in the harbor area, offsetting the potable water demand.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to add something else, is that currently we, a couple of years ago, identified the lack of this recirculation system. We currently have a temporary manual recirculation system, but it requires actually staff to go and operate valves and close and open and operate pumps. Ethan is going to provide us with an automated system that is going to be integrated to the entire plant automation. That's why it's very important that these flow meters are capable to provide accurate information to the automation system so that the system could make the appropriate decisions.
So these meters measure for us non-compliant water that does not fit into that water that is ready for sale or purchase or distribution, if you will. Is that right?
Yeah, basically what it does, these meters will read how much water needs to be recirculated. That information goes into the distributed control system or at the automation of the plant, and this system will tell the pump how to rotate, how to efficiently open up and closing valves accordingly. Right now, whenever we have to operate the recirculation system, we need to send out 2 operators with walkie-talkies and then talking to the control room to do all this manually. And then this project will provide full automation to the process.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Villegas, any questions?
Thank you for your report, Mr. Wong, and thank you, Mr. Gonzalez, for joining us and giving us just a little bit more context. I don't have any questions. I thought you were all very thorough, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. I have no questions. It makes sense, and this project really seems critical in terms of not wasting water at a time when we can't be wasting water. And it's good to see you, Fernando. All right, hearing all that, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Any concerns, Commissioner Closer? All right, hearing no concerns or objections, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you very much, Ethan, and thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. It's good to see you both.
Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, let's move to item number 8. Item number 8 is that, I see Steve Chen. Are you here on item 8, Mr. Chen?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here.
No worries. Good morning. Item 8 is a project in CD9, contract award, Palp Inc. DBA Excel Paving, Gage Avenue, Median Islands, Avalon Boulevard to Central Avenue. Recommending the board, 1, declare Palp Inc. DBA Excel Paving, first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award Palp a contract for this project for $1,082,368, and 2, authorize the president or 2 members of the board to execute the contract after approval as the form has been obtained from the city attorney. Work order E1908105. Good morning, Mr. Chen.
Morning, everyone. Good morning, commissioners. This is Steve Chen, Bureau of Engineering. The item here before you is to recommend a contract award for the Gage Avenue, Median Islands, Avalon Boulevard to Central project to Excel Paving for the amount of $1,082,386. To give you a little background of this project, this is a existing very deteriorated center median island stretching from Gage Avenue between Avalon and Central. It's about a total length of 0.3 miles or 0.3 of a mile, and it's a very wide median, 30 feet wide, so it's a very large area. So what we're proposing to do is to basically beautify the area by adding in landscaping such as trees, flowers, drought-tolerant plants. I think we have like 1,000 shrubs we're adding in there. We're also adding decorative concrete pavement within the median. In addition to that, we have to reestablish the flow line, so we're redoing the curb and gutter, and we're actually going out into the pavement to resurface the street a little bit to, again, establish a proper flow line in that area. And so, yeah, that's the scope of work. We expect the work to take about 455 calendar days. And so that's basically a summary of what we're attempting to do. We received 2 bids. The city engineer's estimate was $1.55 million, and our low bidder was Palp Construction, and they came in at $1.082 million, which is about 30% low, which was good news. We also received a second bidder, low bidder. They did fail to meet their bid bond, and as a result was determined unresponsive as a result of that. However, at this point, we did review the first low bidder, Palp, and they did provide their percentages for 0% MBE, 0% WBE, but they had 16.17% SBE. They had 0% EBE, 0% DVBE, and 20% OBE. And they did comply with all the VIP outreach requirements of the bid. The mandatory subcontracting minimum requirement for this project is 25%, and they did comply by pledging a participation level of 38.51%. So therefore, this project is funded by Measure M, and we are therefore recommending Palp to be the lowest responsible and responsible bidder and award them this contract. I'm available for any questions at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. President Pro Tem Davis, any questions?
Yeah, so the vendor is Excel Paving, you said?
Yes. Yeah, they're known as Excel Paving, but I guess their formal name is Palp.
Okay, and then as we do this work, you mentioned Measure M. That's referred to as local funded project, right? It's a non-federal project. So they have an MSM, a mandatory minimum that they have pledged to engage in doing the work. Is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
And This program, this company is on a list, one of our lists, so we can expedite the work, right? We have this DBA is on one of our lists in engineering.
This is not. I'm not sure I understand your question.
Okay, how did we get this company? Did they bid for it?
Yeah, this is a competitive open bid.
Okay, it's an open bid. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and when do we anticipate they will start the project?
Well, as soon as this gets awarded, we would start construction. When get the insurance and bonds, I would imagine in. Again, they have to supply submittals, but yeah, soon after, maybe a month or two, they could start. We could issue an NTP, let's say, within a month, and they could start construction after that.
And so, given that it was a locally funded project, their proposal is that they will have somewhere around 16% small businesses involved with them on the project. Is that right? Somewhere around in there.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I believe that was it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, President Pro Tem Davis. Commissioner Villegas.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chen, for your report. I do not have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Closa.
Thank you, President Good. Thanks for your report on this, Mr. Chen. I don't have any questions for you briefly on this item, but just it was exciting to see a 30% low bid. I wish all bids came in 30%.
Yes.
So that would be great. I will say, even though it's a 30% low bid, I do wish that this contractor had better numbers for the, MBE, WBE participation in some of the other ones. I know they make the requirement, but I was hoping that those numbers would be better. That said, we will take our wins where we get them, and the 30% low is a good one for the city and for cost savings. So thank you.
Agreed on all fronts, Commissioner Closa. It is a cool project. Looking forward to seeing this and great for seeing So thank you, Mr. Chen. I will take a motion to move the item forward.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Closa. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Any concerns, President Pro Tem Davis?
No, there's no concerns at this point.
All right. Hearing no concerns or objections, the item is adopted forthwith. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, folks. That brings us, actually, have we cleared the decks, Dr. Campos?
Yes, it is. I was waiting for you to make that connection.
Thanks to the incredibly efficient work of my colleague, President Pro Tem Davis, and Commissioners Closa and Villegas, we are actually done, ladies and gentlemen. So with that, and before the noon hour, so go enjoy your lunch, enjoy the rest of your week. See you all on Friday. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.